Good morning, folks. Good morning. Yes, you see that time. It's 4:36 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have my curtains closed this morning, but the window's open, you see there. And I was just watching a video. Yeah, this is Fox News. Oh, let me give the date. Today is May 27, 2021. Thursday, and it's 4:37 a.m. right now. Okay. Um, I'm going to give my thoughts about healthcare, wellness, all that. Um, this is really something like I live in New York City, and I recently, yesterday, had my general wellness exam with my primary care physician at the VA hospital. It's like hit or miss with the VA hospital. And then a couple of days prior to that, oh, what day was it? This week is going so fast. It could have been last Wednesday or something. I had to go to the ER. Yeah. Um, I had gotten the vertigo and this other, and fainting spells. Yes, something with my neck. I had these symptoms before. 2018 I had a big episode, and I did go to the ER, and that was a trip. And for whatever reason, I think now in hindsight, um, yes, as you get older, I'm in my 50s, your body does change. You may have the same habits about doing certain things, but your body's changing, and sometimes you may think everything is the same, but no, there are micro changes in the body. Uh, when you go through menopause, there is a major shift in your body, right? So I have to be aware of this, that even though sometimes things seem the same, but it's not the same. You can have the same habits, do the same thing, but there are micro changes that you may not be aware of. And as you get older, there are these changes in the body. So I have to be realistic with that. Um, yes, vertigo, for those of you who don't know what vertigo is dizziness. You get dizzy, and your balance could, definitely go off, and you're prone to falling. When you're dizzy, that could happen. Um, I was diagnosed with, oh, I forget what you call it, but benign positional something vertigo. In short, it's a problem with the inner ear, and they believe the theory is that you have these crystals in your inner ear that's in a fluid, and when there's an imbalance of these crystals, whatever, um, it will make you dizzy. And with it occurs when you're in a certain position. For me, at least, when you're waking up in the morning, I sleep on my side. And when you turn over on your back, let's say, um, the shifting of these crystals, because I guess all on one side, and when you shift over, honey, the room is going to spin. The room starts moving, spinning. It is a awful feeling. And in 2018, this occurred big time. Um, the day before that incident, I was at a party, It was in April, 2018 in April, the last Sunday in April. And I had gone out the, the, the day before. I got back home. It was an early event. Started around, I think, 10 a.m. and ended by like 4 p.m. And I got home by 6 p.m. I had a great time, great fun. I couldn't sleep. I was just so excited, happily excited. I had a few sips of tea, and then I just watched videos, and then eventually fell asleep way into the morning. Got up after 2 hours, and I knew something was wrong. My whole body felt funny. Uh, the dizziness and the combination of the two, I felt something was wrong. Uh, and I did get to the hospital. The symptoms lasted, um, I think, a couple of months. It wasn't something that just lasted just a couple of hours. I was incapacitated for a while, and but I have my little doggies. These are my little babies. Yeah, I'm still in bed, folks, and I have to take care of them. And I didn't feel comfortable with someone in my house. Those health aides, the type of work, the helpers that are in New York City in the health field, spooks me. New York City is all about money. It's not about service. It's about getting the cheapest labor. Um, the people work for a check and not their profession. Um, when I was going to get one, though, and what convinced me not to get it, uh, I was eligible for a particular service to get a health aid through the VA. I think that's how I went, through the VA hospital. Um, I talked to one of those healthcare services in the city, and I said, I just want someone to just do some light cleaning and heating up the food, whatever. I said maybe 4 hours a day or something like that. Nothing long, just to get the initial thing done, and I'll do the rest. Oh well, we don't want. The ladies here won't want something like that. They're looking for full-time work, and I know it would be hard to just get someone part-time because they want full-time work. Well, I thought, it's about the profession, right? That's what I'm thinking. So but who do you get in in the health field? You get people from these exotic places, extreme poverty, and they're all about money. And I don't blame them. I mean, I've been in places, and some places there's no running water or electricity. Uh, there's no industry. And so I understand that, hey, they want to get a job, but it's all about getting the hours, getting the money. It's not about the service. It's not about providing quality service. Um, it's just you don't want something like that. You don't want someone who just motivate. We all know we all need to pay our bills. We all know that. But people, in my opinion, some people, in my opinion, that it's just we want more than we can afford. We want the big bling bling lifestyle, what we see on TV, right? We want to be able to afford the fancy accessories. So when you walk down the street, people think, oh, you have something, you got money. And that's what New York City is turning into. Um, yeah, and I'll say it. You know, me as a black woman, born and raised here in New York City, it's all about um, status and money, and to try to get as much as you can. And so it's a very competitive dog eat dog mentality. And it could get very spooky. So I told the health provider, the facility, I changed my mind about it. I said, maybe won't be a good idea at this time. And I thanked them. You don't want anybody touching your body, giving you health care, and they're wondering about how long they can stay there so they can get money, so they can live the fancy lifestyle that they see on television. Yeah, this whole process of life and the illusions that I had about life, that the whole game of money, wealth, living in a so-called nice area, or what they call in New York City good area. That's a euphemism, okay? Um, but I'm starting to see through the illusion, the illusion of wealth and power and prestige and all that, that things are things. Things are just things. They're tools. They're just, you know, in the right perspective, they're just things that's supposed to help you in life. Um, like getting a fork and knife and a plate. It's just a tool to help you eat your meals with some type of comfort, dignity maybe. But now things are more than just getting things as a tool. It's a status thing. And you know, status is an illusion. It's all in your head, right? They want you to be fixated on the external world, and it's just to make you think you want something. It like speaks to you. Let's say like a commercial. Oh, go to the vacation here at this luxury, this and that. And they show you visual images of people being what they call pampered, people giving you a body massage, people handing you something cool to drink, sunsets, people with these nice bathing suits. And they want you to think that that's going to make you happy, that you need this because it's going to provide you these things. Why do you need to go to another country to go to a beach, you know, to wear that sun hat, to wear, you know, they're selling you something. They're selling you an illusion, the illusion of, hey, you'll be able to show off to your friends your suntan, that you went away to get it. You could get a suntan on your roof. That's where the expression tar beach came from, because people used to go on their rooftops and sunbathe. But now, like sunbathe, it's not about getting vitamin D. It's about looking a certain way so you can try to convince people that you went to an exotic place like what they show on the TV commercials. So it's about you have excess money to do these things. Okay, it's not about wellness, about getting vitamin D, about relaxation. And I was being, I was indoctrinated like everybody else. I remember when I was just starting out in the business world in the early 80s, um, I was to get 2 weeks vacation. And I said, oh, I supposed to go away, but I don't have money to go to some foreign country. I mean, I was indoctrinated like everybody else. So I said, well, I don't have the money to do that, but hey, um, I'll pretend to be a tourist here in New York City, and I do things that tourists do when they come to New York City. So I got a book on um, vacationing in New York City, places to go, and I looked at some of the things, and I did some of them. I went on a helicopter ride. I went to these museums. I bought some new outfits. Yeah. But I see now in hindsight is that we're being programmed. I know I'm kind of going off the topic, but it's all related, people. All related. It all meshes in this whole thing about wellness and health. But yeah, what happens a lot of times when you go on vacation? You're in debt. You can get in debt, and I've had that happen to me, people. A couple of years after that, pretending to be a tourist in New York City, I had gone away for the first time. I took a plane for the first time, and I was in debt. I had lost my job when I came back home from vacation, and I'm stuck with the bill because I thought, oh, I just paid off, with the job. It took several years, so that was a good lesson. Don't spend what you don't have. Do not spend what you don't have. And who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? Yeah, we many of us are conditioned, programmed to think certain ways of what would make you happy. Things and just recently, for the past few days, I've been I've been staying in because remember, I was recuperating. I had been doing my long walks with my little dogs and then jumping rope. And I was in pain. I strained my knees and my ankles, and I was out of commission. So I stayed home, and uh, and I put this ace, using an ace bandage or something like that on your sprain and then elevating it. Wow, it did make the healing process faster. Oh, I kid you not, folks. Yeah, so you have a sprain. I think it is sprain. When your tendon is tender, not the muscle tip, but your tendons. Get an ace bandage. Elevate the limb above the heart. I did use this essential oils that I purchased on the store for sprains. I forget. See, I'm forgetting now. Strain or sprain. They both sound the same, but they're different. When if you have like something with your tendons being sore, that's what I had. Hey, cut it out. That's my little doggy. My other little dog that's in his man cave. Yeah, he's just something like doggies. They scratch on the surface, like to fluff up their pillow, like. But there's no pillow. But that's what the dogs do instinctively. Yeah. Oh, the birds have started to chirp now. That is beautiful. I like the sound of birds in the morning. Yeah, I love getting up early now in the morning and just relax and ponder things. So, oh, okay. Yeah, see, oh, what I was doing in the house. So, because I was cooped up in the house, trying to recuperate and elevating my leg and, massaging my limbs, my sore joints. Um, I also because also now there's a lot of crime happening in New York City. what they call the Asian beating, Asian bashing. Someone near where I live, another person got attacked near where I live. They bit someone's eye and then bit their part of their finger off. I kid you not, people. I said, I better stay inside. Yeah, it was warm that day too. Yeah, this is going to be a really hot summer, I think. It's not even summer yet, but it's getting warm, really hot now in New York City, and it's real humid. So I said, I'm going to stay indoors. I said, hey, why don't I just clean up my place? I've been at this apartment now for about 18 years, and I accumulated a lot of stuff. And I would say since 2017, all of a sudden, my place felt really, really crammed. And I was bumping into things, getting bruises on my body because I would bump into things. So I said, uh, this is a reflection on my psyche. I have clutter in my brain, and I need to unload it, discard it. This this deluge of stuff, clutter. So yeah, I started in the living room, and I threw out stuff, people. Oh God, I feel wonderful, man. Yeah, and this is all part of wellness also. Wellness is how you feel emotional. Do you have clutter in your life? Well, maybe it's a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Declutter. Sometimes you just need to throw things out and and start anew with the basics. Like when I came here, this apartment 18 plus years ago, I start out with the basic things that I would need. And then more as time went on, I started accumulating things. And I did initially feel very secure. I said, wow, because when I first moved in, I felt like the place seemed very empty, and I felt empty inside. And so I filled it up with stuff, and I started to feel really at home. Yeah, you want to feel comfortable. I don't like an empty feeling, and I don't like clutter. So, but I want the essentials, and just maybe one or two extra things is fine, but I don't want clutter in my life anymore. And so I started, I got, I had these large plastic bags, and I just started dumping things in them. Yes. And I felt good about it. Very, very good about it. So, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, a couple of days ago, um, at at 3 o'clock in the morning, I saw that I was getting vertigo, again, that dizziness. I was lying on my side, and I just kind of stretched out a little bit, when you kind of yawn and just, well, I, the room started spinning a little bit. I said, okay. I said to myself, uh, okay, this is the vertigo got triggered. Um, just move, stay still, move slowly, and get water. I noticed my mouth felt extremely, extremely dry. I don't know why all of a sudden, you know, past few days, I would say the past 2 weeks at the most, I would wake up with an extremely dry mouth. And I'm always talking about water, drinking your water. Yeah, let me show you. Show my water. See, this is my bottled water. Yeah, I drank most of it. This is a liter of water. It fills up to about a liter. It's a mason jar, and ideally, and now that the weather's getting warmer, I got to drink more water. Ideally now, since the weather's really starting to get warmer, I want to at least, at a minimum, drink 3 liters of water. And here I wasn't even outside, so it wasn't even like I was doing something outside. I was indoors in my home, just just doing basic stuff. Washing my dishes. Taking care of my little dogs, and that's basically it. And I needed water. My mouth was dry, and I think um, when I woke up that time, that at 3 o'clock in the morning, the room was warm, and yeah, the window wasn't open. I had opened my window just now. I mean last night. Yeah. See, I'm decluttering. Or here I had a lot of things blocking the window. To open the window. So yeah, not today. I'm going to clean up this room. This is my bedroom, and I want to clean it up. Um, I don't want to bump into things anymore. I want to purge out things. So yesterday I did just tidied up the windowsill so I could open up the window freely when I need to. But yeah, I want to throw out things and just have. I want. See, I need like you have. Sometimes you have to be your own. You got to analyze yourself. You say, okay, these things, I really strongly believe your external world is really representing what's going on inside of you. And so if you got clutter, your brain is cluttered. And it's interesting with the vertigo, life is spinning to me. Life, see how art imitates life? Vertigo. What does that symbolize, vertigo? That you feel your life is spinning. Hello. Hello, people. Is your life spinning around? Do you feel like what in the world is going on? Look what's happening in New York City. Those of you who get the news, you have people biting somebody's finger off, biting someone's face, Asian beating up someone because they're Asian. Now it's the fashion to beat up Asian people. Um, People are now what they call anti Semitic attacks. What else? So, first it was Black Lives Matter syndrome in 2020. Now, 2021, Asian beating, and now an anti Semitic beating. What in the world is going on? Wouldn't that make your head spin? This is making me very anxious. I want to go out. I want to enjoy my environment. Remember, folks, last year I was sharing with you my excursions, going out, walking my dogs with this in the stroller, going to the Ramble in New York in Central Park, and enjoying the day. Remember that? Now it's like spooky to go outside. So it's really something that my vertigo is getting activated again, and I'm really trying to stay on top of the water. Drinking my water. See, things on the surface might seem the same, but things are changing, and life is about change. That is the only constant about life. That life is about change and that you have to adjust with these changes. So you did notice here, this is my monitor, and I know I want to change the position of my monitor. Yeah, right, because it's too. My neck is turned too. I want to shift the monitor maybe over on this side, so my neck is not twisted enough. I'll try to figure it out. Yeah, anyone who has an opinion, how where yeah, I need to relocate this monitor so my neck doesn't hurt. Yeah, my neck is sensitive. If it's in a position too long, if it's turned to the left too much, turned to the right for too long a period, my neck would start to hurt big time. And I think my vertigo and my dizzy spells is associated with my neck, the position of my neck. It could be pressing on a nerve or something, something's happening. But yeah, you see this thing here, monitor. I put it on pause. Notice, okay, on this, there's a picture on the bottom left, okay? And as you can read, it says COVID origins probe. Biden orders Intel to deliver report within 90 days. Okay, that's Biden on top left, the reporter on the right, and then there's a picture on the bottom left, Wuhan, China, it says. Okay, so you see that. You see what that person is wearing? That person is wearing what do you call it, a hazard suit. Okay, see, they're all bundled up. There's no seams at all. You even see like a red tape on it or something like that. Yeah, you're like cocooned in that, and they probably have an air tank. So they're working with the viruses. You have labs, um, science labs, where they work with very, very dangerous viruses or bacteria, and they can have anything exposed on them. And then there's a protocol to remove the hazard suit too. So it's not just having the hazard suit on and the air tank inside. It's also a method of removing it too. But see, okay, but see the medical, in New York City and all over the US and all over the world, they want you to wear a mask. What they call a P95 mask, I think it's called. I initially was really on top of that because I wanted to be, you know, like on top of things, the early COVID last year in March. Yeah, I had a P95 mask and I wore my goggles. Yeah, and I showed videos of that, me going on. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Yes, I'm talking about health and wellness, and right now I'm talking about this monitor, what I was watching. Um, on the bottom right screen, bottom left screen, that person in the hazard suit. Yeah, so what they told us initially with the this pandemic, I call it a plandemic, that you need to wear a mask. And I did go to the doctor's yesterday. Yeah, and I had just so happened to set up the appointment with my general practitioner, health practitioner, primary care physician, for a general wellness exam since it's been a while. I didn't see her all last year. Yeah, but I said, I need to go because sometimes I get real tired when I walk because I am anemic also. So sometimes I might go out and do things, but I feel really weak after. So it could be the anemia also. Yes, being anemic, that means I have my RBCs are blood platelets are a little low. It's not extreme, but it is a little low. It's always been low. Okay. So what happened now? Um, yeah, so I just so happened to have my appointment yesterday, but um, last week I had the vertigo and dizziness that I shared with you guys. And so it was appropriate for me to see my primary care physician after I went to the ER and released from the ER. And so my doctor was saying, "Oh, did you get your vaccine?" I said, "No way." Something like that. I said, "No." I was really adamant about that. And she says, oh, the best thing I can do for you is to give you that vaccine shot, and oh, you should look at the literature and blah blah blah. And I said, I heard about the literature, and I shared with her what I heard. So it's interesting that in her world, she wants me to believe her statistics, but I investigated in my world, and we have opposite information. So, what was the point about bringing that up? Yeah. So oh, she was saying, like when you go into the hospitals, you have to have a mask on. So I had my mask on. Um, it was sliding off my face a little bit. I have to admit that. But she kept saying, "Oh, you got to cover your nose. You got to cover the nose. Oh, you should always have always have the mask on, and blah blah blah." Um, but it's like really hyper. But see, okay, okay, I have to remember not to get off track. But so she was saying all this, but how come these people, and even the person who, the current administration, how come that person now isn't wearing their mask all the time if it's so dangerous? And again, I mentioned here the guy in the bottom left wearing a hazard suit. That's the only way you're protected. Wearing a hazard suit like this person. And again, as I mentioned, when you wear a hazard suit to protect you from dangerous bacteria or viruses, like you work in a science lab, wearing a little dinky little mask, whether it be a P95 mask, whatever, it's not going to protect you. And remember, they did say in the media that the mask does not prevent the spread, according to the medical officials. So if that's the case, and that they want you to take the vaccine, how come taking the vaccine doesn't uh, prevent the spread of the virus? So why do they want you to take the virus if it doesn't prevent the spread? Hello, people. Hello, hello, hello. Am I making sense? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see what I see? Yes. I hope you guys are seeing what I see. That, see, they're telling you one thing, one reality, and they're conflicting each other. The same people could change their recommendations in a heartbeat. Now, I do believe in being proactive regarding your health. I've always been proactive regarding my health. Always very vigilant about my health, because I was raised around someone who had a chronic health condition. And I saw how it kills you in the end, the thing that individual had. So I was always aware about health and wellness. And sometimes you could feel like you're on top of everything on your health, but you could still get sick. Life is about change. We don't always get it right 100%, because shit, you could think that you're doing the right thing, but things change. Maybe it doesn't work for you anymore. Maybe now you have to use some other protocol. But see, one thing that's definite is that if you have a virus, if it's something viral or bacterial that could spread, that's in the air, you need a hazard suit, like this guy there on the bottom left screen. That's the only thing that could really, really prevent contact. And even with that, because I was listening to this program, this news report that I just found a moment ago, and I watched most of it. And I said, I want to do a live video regarding this. Um, information is coming out now. So things don't make sense. See, things, I'm a logical person. I don't know everything, but I have logic. And I start to ask questions. And I remember someone saying to me, if you want to open up your pineal gland, start to ask questions. Well, I go further with that. If you want to have common sense, ask questions whether the thing you're being told makes sense. Does this make sense? This person has a hazard suit because extreme dangers of some of these viruses. But they want you to wear a dinky little mask that when you sneeze in it, all the stuff like they showed a what do you call it? A like they're able to videotape someone sneezing and using an ultra slow speed, like to slow it down so you could see uh, the actions of sneezing, wearing a mask, and everything came through the mask. But they don't want you to wear a face shield. Now I show you my face shield before. I have a face. It's attached to a hat, and you just put the floppy hat on and has the shield, face shield, that goes around. Covers most of your head, and you can breathe in it. And because remember, they said it's the particles that if someone sneezes or cough, you don't want the particles to go in your eye, in your nose, or in your mouth. So wouldn't it be appropriate to have a face shield, but they want you to have the face mask? So your eyes are exposed, and we always show, the video showed, the about when you sneeze and it's done in slow motion. And so you see all the particles go through the typical face mask that they want you to wear. That's going to go in your eye. Also, the statistics show that 99.9% of the people, it doesn't phase. Doesn't make them hospitalized. 99.9%. But there is a segment, 0.1% of the population, that have sensitivities to this virus. They're usually elderly with a number of comorbidities. Comorbidity means that you have other ailments. Let's say you're diabetic. Let's say you have cancer. Let's say you have HIV virus. These are comorbidities that makes the body susceptible to other sicknesses. Okay, they are the ones that are dying from this, whatever what this thing is. So this man in this hazard suit that you see in this uh, monitor screen, did you know that like they were mentioning about the history of this, what's been happening for the past year and a half, and that in November of 2019, in China, that people were starting to get sick, and it was these three scientists. Now, if these scientists have on this hazard suit and they get sick, they got sick. So how's just wearing a mask for us prevent the spread? You hear what I'm saying? So, but they want you to wear a mask so you prevent the spread. Yet only 99.9% of the, 99.9% of the people are okay. But they want it to be what they call it a pandemic, and focus on less than 1% of the population that are really truly susceptible to this virus, whatever what it is. And it's not about politics. Like now, this report by Fox News, um, and again, Fox News is in favor of the former administration. I have to be honest about that. This is a new administration in the USA, and now the Biden is saying to have them do a report on the origins. See that? COVID origins probe. And Biden wants you to wants them the what we call intel to investigate where did this COVID come from. Now, shouldn't they have been making a probe on it much sooner? See, somebody what it looks like to me. Again, I don't know. But what it looks like is someone is trying to cover up something. Someone is trying to back out and trying to, because see, this person that's in office was pro China, doing business with China, doing business with Ukraine, these communist countries and these former communist countries, and doing deals. See, China, again, I'm not anti Chinese, I'm not anti Asian, I'm about truth. And shame on those people in America who are beating up people because what countries their ancestors came from. Shame on those people. You do not hit or touch anybody. They're living in this country like everybody else, and no one wants to be sick. No one. So shame on those people who are beating up elderly people. That's what they're doing in New York City. They're beating up elderly East Asian looking people, or the women, the elderly and women. So you got a misogynist and someone who doesn't respect life doing that. Shame on them. That's horrible. You don't do that. So I'm not saying this part of this video about getting angry with certain nationalities. No, this is not what this is about, what I'm talking about now. But everything has an origin. And it's more than just where something comes from. Okay, anything could come from anywhere. Where did AIDS come from? Where did the swine flu come from? Where did these things come from? My interest here is not what country something comes from when it's the bug, you know, cold or flu, whatever. It's about what caused this thing to occur. And I remember from last year that it was mentioned that a university here, this is what I heard, that you had Harvard University. And you know, the school, Harvard University, that school always seems to pop out with these controversial people. Epstein, you remember the name Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein was the alleged um, man who was sexually violating these teenage girls. He lived in New York City, and he got away with doing horrific things to teenage girls, to blackmail people. Like he'll violate them and had the girls have sex with older guys, and then videotape it and blackmail the adult. Well, that Jeffrey Epstein was associated with Harvard University, and he donated money to that school, Harvard University, and wanted the school to use his sperm. Excuse me, I shouldn't say, use his genetics, and have a breeding thing, 20 women at a time. Hello, people. Hello. Yeah, that Jeffrey Epstein I'm talking about. And then Harvard University is also associated with the virus thing, and that they had a college professor, and he had given these two students who are from China for them to send it over to Wuhan laboratories. And this Dr. Fauci, you're going to hear that name a lot, Dr. Fauci, who lives in America, a white fellow, and he is associated with the Wuhan laboratory in China. And the two students were brought over to Wuhan laboratory in China, and somehow this virus gets, the rest is history. And then they put into office, I had Dr. Fauci lead the investigation regarding this virus. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Isn't that a conflict of interest? So you always have this, it seems like you hear the same schools involved with these controversial things, controversial people, but no one, but they stopped investigating that. Why did they stop the investigation with Harvard University? Well, Harvard University is the oldest chartered school in America. It is the first university, and that's a main part why it has so much prestige in the United States of America, because it is the first school, first chartered school in North America. And everybody wants to go there. Well, at least people used to always want to go there because it used to be considered the number one school in the country. Okay, but look, it's over the years, Harvard University has been very controversial in how it treats people. Um, Controversies over sexist remarks, saying, and now this was the head of Harvard University, who was heard saying that women are inferior, something to that effect. And it was a big scandal. Okay, so you have people in one of the most prestigious schools in the country saying horrific things, horrible things about women. And then they get involved with Jeffrey Epstein's escapades. You don't think these people know what each other are doing? You don't think so? It seems like these people who have access to these monies, they seem to know each other and associate with each other. There was something else I heard about with Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile guy, likes to mess with young girls and then use the girls to have sex with these older men and blackmail the men who's having sex with these people. And then he mysteriously dies in jail, awaiting trial. Put the dots together, people. Stop putting the dots together. You think it's by accident that he died? Why they, the people in the what do you call it, the security guards, you know that they're not going to do jail time? The security guards who weren't doing their job and then got admitted to falsifying the reports so they don't get in trouble. So they did admit that, yes, we did alter the records to to protect us because we weren't doing our job. They were sleeping on the job and on the internet shopping rather than doing their job. And here, this man is one of the prolific pedophiles in the country, and then don't watch him, and then try to cover what? Hello? Does that make sense, people? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. So let me just turn on the slide here. Okay. Yeah. Oops. It doesn't supposed to make sense. It doesn't make sense because people are covering up things. People are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and they're covering for each other. And so Jeffrey Epstein dies mysteriously, and then the people who are in charge of watching over him get off. They're to do 100 hours of service. Hello, people. This is a mass pedophile uh, thief. A lot of things this man was. And, and the victims are not able to now see justice. I mean, they have that other lady, Maxine, what's that? Uh, I forget that lady's name that they arrested, that worked with Jeffrey Epstein. She's still in jail awaiting trial. You think she's going to get to trial? See, it's cover-ups. That's what it looks like. It looks like there's cover-ups. And people are just getting away with things. And I heard that this Maxwell, Maxine, was it Maxine Maxwell or something? I don't know. Um, she may want to do a plea deal. Okay, that would be very interesting. So either way, they want you to believe in this this vaccine theory, I mean this virus theory, wearing a mask. And then my doctor yesterday, oh, you got to wear this, and making me feel like, boy, but she's acting so. I mean, I had my mask on, and she had hers on. She had the face shield and the mask, and she's trying to convince me to take the vaccine. But yet, you heard all these reports of people dying, miscarriages. No way. So, what's going on, people? What is really going on? Well, again, this COVID origins, okay, they want you to, they're going to do an investigation. See, what it looks like again, that, see, he knows something is up. I mean, the cover up. See, remember, Biden has a son, and Biden was, they found information on his laptop computer that really exposes a lot of things. So now he wants to look proactive, the father, this Biden here, who's in office. Oh, you got 30 days. I mean, not 30, you got 90 days to find out where the COVID come from. He knows where they came from. See, he's behind China. Not because it's all about money. It's about business. It's not about ethnicity, race. It's about business, and it's about making America um, communistic, doing business with China. You know that most of the things that you get are all comes from China. At least in New York City, you buy. Yeah, I just recently bought something, and then when I looked at it at home, it said made in China. Why aren't things made in America? Because see, they want the cheap labor, and when you get people who are about cheap labor, you get cheap standards. These people are getting kickbacks. His son got a kickback. Didn't you hear about that, Hunter Biden? He was receiving. The guy has no college degree, and these countries want to do have him as a what do you call it? Um, like an expert on a topic he knows nothing about. Well, is it because his is running for, was in office, and they buy their way in? It has nothing to do with ethnicity or race or anything like that. It's about business and money and control and altering governments. That's what these people are about. And they're selling, in my opinion, selling out the country. And with the former administration, see, he got it partially right. Yes, it did call it the China virus and the Wuhan virus, but it did come out from there. But it was tweaked and everything, and the U.S. is also involved in it. Harvard University is involved, bringing over those two students to the lab in Wuhan. Why don't they focus on that? Why is this guy, our current leader, why aren't they focusing on Harvard University's involvement? Well, could it be that Harvard University may have information that could blackmail some of these people? Hello? Anybody there? Do you hear what I'm saying? Is that partially why they killed Jeffrey Epstein in prison? Because he had a lot of secrets. And they were involved in him having, what was that again? Impregnating 20 females at a time. Harvard University was involved with that. Who knows whether they actually did it? They only talk about what he wanted to do, but maybe he already did it. Hello? Did you hear just recently? I just heard, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Did you know that Bill Gates, the former, the person from Microsoft, Bill Gates, was for many years the richest person on earth. He was doing business with Jeffrey Epstein, the pervert. He asked Jeffrey Epstein, the pervert that died in jail about almost 2 years ago, to be a mediary, because Gates wanted to get the Nobel Peace Prize. People, could you believe what I'm saying? You're going to ask a pedophile to put in the good word for you to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Did you hear that? People, did you hear that? And this Bill Gates is now, did you hear that he's getting a divorce? Why now? Why now? Why does the wife want to divorce Bill Gates? Why does Melinda Gates want to divorce Bill Gates now after all these years of marriage? They have children together. I never knew they had children. I just found out this month that they had children. But all of a sudden, she filed for divorce this month, I think it was. This month or last month. Why? Could it be that the poo-poo's going to hit the fan soon? You know, you have a lot of women who are career wives. They only marry the person for prestige and status, or they're going to run for politics or something. It's all for show and power. Now, why would Bill Gates want to have someone put in the word so that he can get the Nobel Peace Prize? Why? And again, Bill Gates is also involved with this virus thing, and he wants to make recommendations. He's not a doctor, Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a college dropout. Bill Gates is a college dropout. And they want to use him used him to tell you about what you should do regarding the virus and that you should get the vaccine. And he's buying up a lot of land in America. Why? Well, if he controls the land, he can control the crops that grow on it because it's his. See that? The GMOs. You could put things on those plants and genetically modify, GMOs, genetically modified, right? Why? Why would you want to be associated with someone like a Jeffrey Epstein? Why? It's really something. They're playing us dumb and dumber. I just found that out with Bill Gates' involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Um, so all of a sudden now the wife wants to get a divorce, and then this guy here, Biden, do a 90-day report on the origins of the virus. Why now? Why now? These are important questions. What happens in 90 days? Well, it's a new season in 90 days. That's 3 months from now. That would be then entering the fall season, because that would be in August. Let's see, it's May, not May, June, July, August. So it'd be the beginning of September. After 90 days, it'd be approaching September. So that's when the flu season starts to begin, people. And when it hits, it's probably going to hit hard. It's going to hit hard. But they want you to, he wants to look like he's doing something proactive. Oh, let's find that was the first thing that should have been done. They all know where it came from. That information about the Harvard University came out last year. All these people involvement. And China being involved with the election fraud. Remember, China was the one that sent out the empty ballots. They made copies of it in China, printed out mass number of them, and then distributed. They got a plane, sent it here, and then distributed. And again, as you guys saw, at least I did, on video, people doing multiple, putting the ballots in several times. And there was you never heard anyone being prosecuted for it. This goes way, this is very corrupt. You know what else? What I wanted to talk about this whole wellness and stuff. I mean, that's just the government level, which is horrible. But yeah, I had to go to as I shared earlier, I had to go to the ER room for vertigo, and I felt faint. I had to get an injection. They had to put this port in my arm because I had to get a CAT scan, and they had to put this, what do you call it, for contrast. So, I mean, she seemed like a really sweet person. This person bruised my arm so badly. Like, they use these new needles now to put the ports in. It's like a flexible wire. And my veins are easy to see. And she keeps poking and poking and then wiggling it in my arm. causing bruising like you would never believe. She did my left arm first, and then she had to put a new port in on my right arm. The pain involved. That one was even more bruised. Where are they getting these people, these nurses? She claims that she's been in the field for about 9 years, and then the method how she tried to remove the port to inflict as much pain as possible. Where did this? So when I had to see my doctor yesterday, see that incident happened last week, and then when I went to my primary care physician to follow up on it, uh, what happened in the ER. I told the nurse there, the nurse that works with my primary care physician. I've worked with her for a couple of years now. She's good. And this was something else. She said, you have your right. You don't want a particular nurse. You have a right to say no. Get somebody else. I'm glad she said it like that. She's a smart lady. But they're getting people. See, this portion may not sound nice, what I'm going to say, but it's essential for all those who listen, because it's your body, it's your life. It's not about being prejudiced. If someone doesn't know what they're doing, if someone doesn't know what they're doing, they're getting people in New York City, they're getting people from these places, these exotic places. And again, they're like the women that I mentioned earlier, the health aides that come to your house. They work for a check, and they'll turn down an assignment if it's not enough hours. Something is better than nothing. Something is better than nothing. They just know. See, it's greed. Until you can get if they have a full-time assignment for you, take it. I used to do temp work. I was I did office work. I did many different types of work. But you take what you can get. Until something full-time you take. You know what I'm saying? You take what's available. Something full-time comes in, you take that. But in the meanwhile, but see, they're greedy. They believe they want the illusion of being rich. They want the bling bling. They want to say, "Oh, I went to this fancy place, that fancy place." Or some of them really have a real need. Some of them are here illegally, and they have to send money home. Yeah, yeah. Some people that they are uh, giving a big responsibility, coming to this country so they can feed their families in that living in other countries. I feel for them, but the type of work that they produce is horrible. People with mentalities that that's not. It's just different. It's more than just being different. When you have a mindset of someone um, with a questionable background, that's not really it's not their fault. We're all born into a system, all of us. We're all born into something. But when that something interferes with your life and the standards of people to fulfill these new jobs, it's like the wild, wild west here with the people who are now entering the health field. At one point, it was doctors that did all the work. It was the doctors that cleaned up the doctors that gave the needles and all that. And each time, as the years go by, uh, it gets so specialized, the health field. You even have nurses now who don't want to they don't want to do it, or get their health aide to do it, or they have all these different hierarchies in the health field when you work in a hospital, and no one wants to do their job. They want to put it on somebody else. So it's that mentality that I'm too important for this. And that's another big problem in the health field. Everybody's too important to do the job. And then you suffer. So here you get somebody who's going to give you a needle and they don't know how to give a needle. They don't know what they're doing. My vein was in one position, but she's entering the needle from another location. So what are you doing? I said to myself, but I was too embarrassed. People see that's my problem. Sometimes I speak out and sometimes I don't because I like the girl. She was a nice, girl. And you know what else? That some of these health care people, now shouldn't you get healthy people to work in the hospital? I mean, this sounds really bad of me, but but it's all related. You're getting new people who are so large, and they are responsible for your health. These people look like they don't care about themselves. I don't know. I really don't know. You're in the health field and you don't look healthy. Where are they getting these people from? It's just because now it's not about health. It's not about your profession. It's about what job you can get and get quickly. Because now what they're doing in the VA hospital. See, I was told by some of the workers there, you get in and they train you to do other types of jobs. I guess to save money. I mean, it's nice to train people, but it's all about saving money. And they'll have you do so many different things, but it's not your profession. I'm afraid that they might get the janitor and teach them how to give a needle. It's getting to that point. It's not about being prejudiced. It's about the mentality. What's really going on? When you get someone who's just there because of the money or to fulfill a quota, you're not talking about quality care. That's what I'm talking about. That's my concern. And you get worried. The nurses don't want to be nurses anymore. One time I had to go to the ER for something. This was many years ago. And I was scared. I thought I was having a heart attack. Uh, one morning, and my heart was really racing, and I was scared. And I said, "Please, nurse, please hold my hand. I'm scared. I'm scared." And she just like, "Oh, you again? Awful, awful, awful." She's from one of those exotic places because they're too important now that they got a job there. They don't want to do their job as a nurse. They're too important now to hold your hand to keep you calm. It was beneath her. That's what New York City is all about now. And it's horrible. Horrible. This is the best country in the world, in my opinion. I love my country. And I love my fellow New Yorkers. I love you guys. But I see changes happening quickly. I am worried. You go to the doctors, are you going to come out alive? Getting a normal procedure. Serious problems are happening in New York City. My father had to go to the doctor for, he just went in for a routine colonoscopy. And in a nutshell, he had to have his, they had to coloscopy bag. I forget the pronunciation. A coloscopy. What do you call it? Colonoscopy bag. You know that bag when you they remove your colon and then they put a bag in so you could go to the bathroom. Hello. He went in for a routine colonoscopy exam. They removed the polyp, and then they said to go on his blood thinning medication. After removing a polyp, he almost bled to death. And to stop the bleeding, they had to cut out a part of his intestine, but they cut out the wrong part. So they had to cut the whole thing out and put a bag in him. Hello, people. What's going on in America? Why are we doing these things to each other? We have the best technology in this country. We have the best universities in this country. But now it's not about quality care, it's about saving money. See that? The current administration wants to get involved with nations who are all about saving money at any cost and possibly covering up their know-abouts of the origins of this virus. They want you to get a mask. When you see here, they have a hazard bodysuit. That's what you use to protect yourself, not a little dinky little mask on your face. See that hazard suit on the bottom left? That's what that is. They're completely covered in it. That prevents you from getting sick. Their eyes are covered. Yeah, because your eye is a membrane. It can enter in your eye. So why aren't they forcing it? Because it's not what you think. It's not all what you think. Yes, use protection. Yes, if you're not feeling well, wear something. But this whole thing was to topple America. Why did all these businesses have to close down? You know how many people lost their jobs? More and more companies are losing their companies. Places in New York City that was going to for years are now out of businesses. Who could afford the new rent? Hello, people. This is part of social engineering. They are all about social engineering and getting a new clientele to do business in New York City. New York City is really the haves and the have-nots, the poor and the rich. The middle class is virtually removed in New York City. I went to visit family in Queens, New York, one of the 5 boroughs. And it looks bad. The new homeless that's in Queens now. And of course, most of them are all black people, black women. And in Manhattan, there are black men who are homeless, black American people. Why is this? Why in New York City you have all these people from these exotic places who have jobs, but not you? Why are some Americans here are jobless? Who do you see doing all that weird stuff and biting people or beating up people? These homeless people. Who are the homeless in New York City? Hello, people, but yet they got all these people who are getting trained from these exotic places, and they're all about a check, and they're giving you inferior medical care. I don't care what people are. I don't care what race, religion, national origin. I don't care. But what I care about is what you do. I care about a system that's using and exploiting other people to hold one group down, putting stress on us, and then we flip out. Did you hear also that this month, May, is the zombie alert month? I made mention of this earlier this month. Zombie Awareness Month. It was announced in April of this year, 2021. Well, wouldn't you consider people that up the road, the person who bit someone's eye and then their finger off, part of the finger, they bit it off. They were beating up the person because they didn't like what the race, I think the person was an Asian fellow. And they did that. Isn't that like a zombie? Hello, people. I think we're being triggered. I think people are being triggered. I think people are being given things and you can manipulate their thinking. Yeah. Be careful what they put in your body, people. That's what I'm trying to stress also. When they're so eager for you to take something and put it in your body, and 99.9% of the people are not affected by it, why make it a national requirement? Unless you want to nationally control people. Start thinking. Start thinking about what's going on, about who's controlling your health, about the people that they have, the new people that they have in the health field. People who are not in the health field, who don't look like they even care about their own health. Who are doing these exotic ways of giving you a needle in your arm and then now you walk away with bruises on your arm. This video is not about hating or bashing anyone. It's about awakening on the new politics that are happening here in America. And this is New York City, where I'm calling from, where I'm doing this live stream. I love you all. I love people. I've always been around all types of people. But I see that people are changing. I see people, members of my own community, just are acting crazy. We don't trust each other anymore. We don't love each other. We're just in a defensive, predatory mode. And we're bringing in people from other exotic places, and somehow they get good jobs. Look at construction. And you have people from these other places, who knows whether they even, what do you call it, have their papers to do these jobs. You get good money in construction. How come when I see a homeless American on the street and you got people from other countries getting these contracts or whatever, I get angry. I don't mind sharing. No one minds sharing. You get a visitor in your home, you don't mind sharing a nice meal with somebody, but you will mind when they put their feet on your furniture and then they tell you to get out of your own home. That's when you're going to wake up. There's no respect. There is no respect. I cannot respect someone who is trying to kick me out of my own place. That you become the new hungry. But everybody, but somehow they have a place to live. They have a job to go to. Everywhere I look in New York City, it's the winter out there, everywhere I look, I see more and more homeless black people on the street, out of their mind. How could this happen? We get people from these exotic places that work for the VA hospital, and I'm not going to say where they're from, but they disrespect you. See, they see a little black face like mine. I have a master's degree. And this person must think I'm just some welfare queen or something. Not at all. I'm just a regular woman. I have my degrees. And even with a degree, I couldn't get a job in my field. But this person from an exotic place is now going to look down on me because I asked her. I was to get I was what do you call it, an ultrasound, and I said, "Oh, could I see what's on the screen? I want to see what it looks like." Oh, well, you don't know anatomy. You need to know anatomy and physiology. And blah, 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 blah. I said, oh, I was a science major. But she was real nasty, and she still refused to show me. So what if somebody, let's say someone's getting an ultrasound, they're pregnant. And I said, oh, can we see the screen? Oh, you're going to say, oh, you didn't take anatomy and physiology. You won't know what this is. Hello, people. Am I making sense there? Really, she was really nasty because they think that they're better than you. And it's this attitude that I'm talking about. And I don't, again, I don't care where people are from. I care what people do. I care what people do to me, what they do to you, and what they do to Americans. They're here, some of them, and they don't respect you because they think that, see, they know why they're there. They know why they got the job and you don't. And it goes to their head and they disrespect you. And you can't get rid of them because they cover each other. This is just my experience at the VA hospital. Okay, I'm a vet. I served my country and I love my country. I love America. And I like all human life. I respect human life. And I want the best for every race, religion. I want the best for every person on this planet. But now we're imploding on ourselves. We're having a cover up where the current administration now wants to try to make it look like they're proactive, and now going to wonder what is the origins of COVID probe, and to give them 90 days to discover where did it come from. They all know where it came from. This administration is in bed with that country. He does deals. He's paid off. Again, China was responsible for the election fraud. But they're going to blame the old administration involvement, and they show not true. But this guy's kid, Hunter Biden, was in cahoots with these nations, not the prior administration. See that? The villain is pointing a finger at somebody else. This is what this guy is doing. And now he has to backtrack and try to cover it up, make it look like, oh, you got 90 days. Yeah, in 90 days is the beginning of the new flu season. It's going to be back to square one. And the whole thing again, see, now they're releasing, they said in September they're going to open up the schools fully. Well, can't they just release the same thing again? I project people that what's going to happen, that is going to be a deluge of this pandemic. It's going to really spread because now he's getting scared, in my opinion. That's just how I interpret this. Biden orders Intel to deliver report within 90 days on the COVID origins do a probe on it. Hello. But they never mentioned about Harvard University. That was just that it came out from. And again, the correlate, the association with Jeffrey Epstein, who also was involved with Harvard University in doing a genetics thing, a baby maker thing, to impregnate 20 women at a time with his baby. Harvard University was behind this development of the what I was told with the COVID, and sending the two students from Harvard University over to Wuhan to deliver the virus, who then worked in the lab, the Wuhan lab, and that's the same lab that Dr. Fauci is involved with. And they're using Dr. Fauci to lead the the requirements of how to treat the virus. Why would you let the fox in the hen house? Why would you have Dr. Fauci, who's associated with the Wuhan laboratory in China? Hello, people. And then Bill Gates also is also associated with Jeffrey Epstein, who's involved with Harvard University and in helping Bill Gates win the Nobel Peace Prize. Did you just hear that? I heard about that. The Bill Gates want to apply for the Nobel Peace Prize. He's delusional. Bill Gates is delusional. And again, his wife all of a sudden wants to divorce him. Maybe, I can only speculate, but don't you think maybe she wants to divorce him because the cat's going out the bag? Because they are involved with getting the vaccine, right? See how it's a small world and they all seem to be linked together? And they're going to use Bill Gates to be the some type of educational thing, in charge of education in New York City. Bill Gates is a college dropout. Yet they're going to put him in charge of some educational program in New York City, according to Governor Cuomo, who also has something going on with the sex scandal. See how disgusting these people are? These are the type of people that's in office. They're corrupt and they're nasty. As above, so below. You have nasty rulers, and then the public is becoming nasty also. We're losing our minds. We're losing our minds, people. Look at this guy is losing his mind. Biden. People, use common sense. Your body is your responsibility. It's your life. I'm just saying for you, before I close this video, this live stream, to think, start to ask questions. Become your doctor. I mean, be proactive in your life, in your health. We're not always going to get it right. I mean, we do the best we can. Do the best you can with what knowledge you do have to protect your life and your wellness. Wellness is about you taking control of your health. And does it make sense to just wear a little mask when you see these people wearing a hazard suit? That person's wearing a hazard suit, and there's protocols to just even remove it. You touch that thing wrong, even though you're wearing a hazard suit and you're taking it off, you can get infected. But they want you to think, oh, just wear a little mask. 99.9% of the population is not harmed. It's just that 0.1% population that can be compromised. and they put all these restrictions on a whole nation, on a whole planet, based on 0.1% of population group. And just part of that 0.1% actually died from it. And the other segment, a part of it that needs to be hospitalized but will recover. This is a pandemic, in my opinion, of sinister people in high places who want to socially engineer your life and put people at stress so they have a meltdown. And again, May is, as they said in, I think it was the CDC. The CDC said we're going to make May the, what do you call it, zombie preparedness month. Zombie preparedness month. Isn't that ridiculous? But look what happened in May. All the reports you're hearing in New York City, people acting like zombies. The homeless population here. Why you see so many homeless black people, black men on the street. It's horrible. They're being used to attack people in the subways, beat up the elderly, beat up women. It is horrible. And yes, that's why I want to leave here. But where could you leave to? Yeah, there's other things. Let me tell you real quick. I think it's all related. See, I see that life is more than just what we see here. Yeah, this is my monitor. This is my room. Life is life is more than what you see with your naked eye. What if I know this doesn't sound connected, but what if what if reincarnation is real, or that you have uh, life in other dimensions or systems? People like I don't know how do you word this. But what if things are more complicated? What life is like? Your life is actually being controlled by an outside source. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but bear with me. This is really something that I'm starting to think. See, you ever have remember the movie Truman Show? The Truman Show, people. Look at the movie The Truman Show. That person thought they were living their life in a particular way. But one day, something happened to him, and he started to mentally think critically that his life was not his own. And every time you try to move forward, something else happened. Well, something happened again yesterday. Yeah, so I told you that with all this melee happening in New York City and etc. I actually started in February of this year. I was investigating the possibilities of me becoming a homeowner. I would be a first-time home owner. And every time when I wanted to like kind of set something up or something fell through, they want me to build up my credit. I don't use credit. I believe in cash. I'm debt free. And that's how I want to keep it. But, it's something I wanted to investigate. Possibilities of moving from here, getting my own place. So I wanted to go establish credit. And I wasn't able to get it. Then all of a sudden I get in the mail these are pre-approved applications to get credit, to get a credit card. So one of them, I what is that? Yeah, early in the month, I said, hey, let me try this one, and they said I was approved for it was done online. Like they give you the code, whatever, and then you go online and then you apply. You give all the data. Oh, and this is also would be a secured credit card. Okay, that means you have to back it with money. Okay, and this is for people who don't have credit or have bad credit. Now, I just don't have credit. I used to have credit, but I don't use credit cards anymore for a number of years, and so you get off the screen, so to speak. You're off the radar, and but to reestablish credit could be a challenge. So I applied for the application. I applied for it online, and then they said they approved me, and then to send them the money to secure it. And this was a major bank in New York City. It's not one of those places you never heard of. Yeah, this bank is near where I live, and so I felt safe using them. So they said that they were to mail the card to me within a week. So I went and checked my mailbox just yesterday, and this is what it's really something how things work. Yeah, thank God I did. Well, I see I got a notice, but there was no card in the notice. I opened it up because it was from that bank, and it was an old, they sent the notice out the day after I was approved. And they said that they need the money by such and such date, which is today's date, coincidentally. Again, coincidentally. And so I called them up as quickly as I could because I see the deadline is today. This was yesterday. I get a recording, and they said, sorry, but something like it was canceled or something. I'm saying, what? So I call another number to get a person on the line. And in short, they said something about, they said, oh, you have to wait until you get your notification in the mail why you were denied. I said, wait a minute, denied. I made a printout that you approved it. And I see I got this notice that was sent a couple of days ago that they need the money by tomorrow, I told them. But you already canceled it? What's going on? So again, I was hopeful that I would be able to establish, and I just want a little card, nothing, to maybe buy, your groceries or something, just a few dollars here and there, and then you just pay it off, just to establish credit, okay? Just to get a credit line, because now I don't have any credit history. I mean, any current credit history. And if I want to get a mortgage with a very good interest rate, you want that. Or let's say if I do get the mortgage, you're going to need a car. If I decide to do something like this, um, I'll probably have to buy a car, and you have to have credit and get a good interest rate on your car, right? Right, people? So, um, So that's why this was important to me to establish the credit. I'm not interested in getting in debt per se, but if I want to, you know, live where I think I would like to live, uh, they don't have mass transit, so I would be forced to get a car. So um, the people that I did call yesterday, they were supposed to call me back. They said, well, we'll investigate it for you. We'll give you a courtesy call within 2 hours. Well, that call never came. And today's the deadline. But again, they already canceled my application. They said, well, you need to, wait till you get the letter. in the mail. Well, what is that going to do? It's just going to say why you were declined. It doesn't fix your history. Now, something like this happened. Now, isn't that going to hurt my credit history? Because they took something, they initiated, and then they're going to cancel. This doesn't look good. So I share this because sometimes you want to help yourself or escape somewhere, and then life has it that they might be saying, hey, you're to stay here. We don't want you to leave. We want you to stay here because we have a mission for you. We have something for you to do. It's not going to benefit you for you to move. It's going to be too much. This could be a reality. You know, some people believe in angels, right? Maybe my angel, or they call it guard. What do you call it? What do you call it? They call it guardian angel or this other thing. And they could be watching over you, protecting you, and setting up things that, hey, we don't want you to go, or something. I know for many people, and maybe even a little bit myself, sounds very um, problematic. But what if life is really about just that? That there are other realities that could be manipulated, like the Truman Show, but in a different way of a Truman Show. And you may want to do something and get out of a situation, but maybe, I already showed you pictures of orbs. Remember that? I showed you that they're orbs. Little, it was maybe, it's going on about 2 years ago. I saw my first orb with my naked eye. I don't do drugs, I don't drink. And it was like amazing, amazing, this beautiful, beautiful orb I saw. And I have a scientific mind. I do have a science background. And I said, I want to try to measure it. I want to try to somehow document this. So I bought the camera, this security camera that could record in infrared light. Infrared light is an invisible spectrum to the naked eye. It allows you to see in darkness, like these security cameras that you have, like in your home, in a dark place, whatever, in case someone breaks in at night. You'll be able to see who comes in. That's infrared light. And it could see in the invisible spectrum. Well, I used it. And lo and behold, there are orbs. And I was able to videotape them and photograph them. And I shared it on a post. And in my other channel, I have a channel called Orb Whisperer. Yeah, that's right, Orb Whisperer. And I share a few of my videos on orbs and to see it. So I'm not crazy, folks. Orbs exist, and if orbs exist, spirit beings exist. Other life forms that are in the invisible spectrum to the naked eye exist. And I'm just suggesting that the unseen world is just as powerful, maybe even more so, and could be influencing your physical reality. You hear that? The invisible world could be influencing this 3D visible reality we think we're living. So, I know I did a full circle here. Talk about the medical field, about the wellness, about the virus. Talked about how it's affecting people in New York, and the zombie preparedness month of May that we're in, and the 90-day 90-day orders that our current administration is giving the scientists, the intel community on the origins of this COVID. See, it's the blame game now. He wants to blame somebody else, but this person is involved in his involvement, okay, and his son, Hunter Biden. It's a complete circle. Everybody's associated with everybody else. So, yes. So I know I said a lot, and I know that many people are not going to agree or think this is very bizarre. But start thinking, people. You don't have to believe one thing what I say. You do your own investigation. You become someone proactive regarding your personal wellness, your health care, and don't believe everything that the science want to tell you. Okay? So I thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate you guys if you give me the thumbs up. Yeah, I'm not fully back on YouTube. I still got a lot of things that I want to do. Yeah, I have problems with my neck, and so I try to limit my, at least my attempt. I want to limit my computer use because it puts my neck in a bad situation and could make me dizzy or faint. Yeah, I'm still have to uh, get a doctor. Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, I have to. I'm trying to get a second opinion regarding my dizzy spell, and yeah, I have to wait a month and a half for my appointment. And as a veteran, we have a new policy. If you have to wait over a month for your appointment, you have the right to see a private doctor to get treated. Okay, and so I had a veterans advocate look into the matter yesterday, and she also forgot, or she was supposed to call me back yesterday. She didn't also, so I have to make sure I call her to follow up and try to find a doctor, we call a neurologist, to find out why these dizzy spells and everything. And I know my neck is involved in it. It's good. My neck is bothering me now. So that's all. But um, as I said earlier in this video, that I'm trying to declutter the things in my apartment. I'm using this opportunity during this zombie preparedness month to declutter my life, to remove these things that are just clutter in my home, and to also to promote this wellness and clarity of thought. So that's what I'm doing now, and so I'm gonna stay here, stay at home today, and finish cleaning my room that I'm in here now, to throw out a lot of stuff, to bring more order in my life, and to really plan out what I want to do next. Okay? Yes. So I thank you guys for listening, and you know, be proactive about your life. Ask questions, and when you get answers, share your answers with other people. Okay? So I thank you. Peace, love, and joy, and give me the thumbs up. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye bye.